The DJ Roundtable Show is live. It's the DJ Roundtable Show. Tell another DJ about the show. Please subscribe. Please subscribe.
It is Tuesday night. It is 8 o'clock. You know where your DJ's at. I know where I'm at. I'm here with you. It is another DJ round table. And as always, I appreciate you watching it out there on Twitch where we're live. And also, if you're watching it anywhere else, you know, again, we have it over on the tubes. I like to have it over there as well. And, well, I always like to say this, and I ask you this all the time. But again, our new subscribers over on the tube, do me a favor. Make sure you hit the like button, get the thumbs up. Make sure you hit the subscribe button, the bell icon, so we know and you know when we drop a video. I try to drop them on Mondays at noon. And as always, we try to have lots of fun and enjoy yourselves. The big things I always ask for is give me feedback. Tell me what's going on. Tell me what you're thinking, your thoughts, your feelings, your tomfoolery, you know, criticisms, critiques, anything else is that. I like to hear it down below. A few other things going on. Also, don't forget, there's a lot of other stuff going on here. We have, again, I tell you all the time, Joe's audio-visual theta. He has it up there. You know, if you want to look for something to step up for this year, for your weddings, you know, contact me. I will get you in the hold of Joe very quickly. I will give you information. I will call Joe personally and ask for him to give you a call. Get a hold of me. I'll make sure you get a hold of him. If you can't find his information, I try to have everything down below. We also have a few shows that we also support. And as always, Hunter has started his new show, Time to Spin, over there on YouTube. He's doing it on Monday nights. We have on Wednesdays, you know, not to sound bad, I wish Sean was here, but Sean is out doing something. He's crazy busy. He is running around like a chick with his head chopped off, but he does have the DJ Biz School. A lot of great videos over there. Thursday nights, 2 shows. So if you're lucky, you have split screen, or you can also do what I did the past couple of weeks, is have it on the big TV, one, and have my phone with the other one, so I can talk back and forth and see what's going on. That's the fun part right there. Or if you have multiple areas, multiple screens. The first one up is always Cue It Up with Dwayne the Hitman Dixon over there. And make sure he, as well as you, always know that you're watched here to watch his show. So make sure he's Thursday nights, 8 o'clock Central Time or 9 o'clock Eastern Time. He always has his cohort or his wingman or his co-pilot, you can call him that, DJ Mikey Mike from Pennsylvania. And then also at the same time, you have one other show, Start to Spin. Not Time to Spin, but Start to Spin, over on YouTube as well at the same time. They are also at 8 o'clock Central Time, 9 o'clock Eastern Time. They have a lot of great stuff, and always love that. Wednesday nights, if you're also not busy, James with his King's Court, I guess he's been talking about our show, and we thank him for that. And I know that he has a lot of information over there. If you're looking for the Exitons, and that's the hot speaker right now, I know everyone's losing their mind over the speaker. He has a lot of reviews on it. He loves the speaker. God bless him. If you like to hear, someone else's idea of the speaker, Matt, which he's not here right now, which I'm surprised, but Matt has his opinion. He voiced his opinion on here. I've said a few things about it. And you had to make an informed decision about buying any gear. Even though I may like something, it's up to you if you want to buy it or not. Just because I like it doesn't mean you have to buy it. But again, talk to the people who use it. Talk to people who have it. Talk to everyone. Make sure you make an informed decision. As always, we have a great group of DJs here. We have Chris in New York. We have Jeff in North Carolina. We have Joe in California, Brentley in Wisconsin. Cool thing, well, Hunter, he is in South Carolina. And then you have Dwayne over in Ohio. So you have a couple of Midwestern guys, a couple guys on the East Coast, West Coast. And as always, we have you wherever you're at in the world. Hopefully, you're nicely comfortable, relaxing. You open a nice drink, sit back, relax, and enjoy this show. As always, we like to thank you for watching. And we were talking a little bit before the start of the show, and here's something that Brentley and I were talking about, and we both have experience doing vinyl. When I started DJing many, many moons ago, I started on vinyl, two turntables, a very, very, very beat up old audio mixer, and not a DJ mixer, an audio mixer to I start out with. Then I switched over, finally saved money up to buy a DJ mixer. That was fun going down to Biasco Music down in the city to get that. Brentley knows Biasco Music. You're from Chicago, and you were a DJ in the 80s and 90s, even early 2000s. You know Biasco Music.
Oh yeah.
Yep, that was one of the places to go to get gear, and that was it was a very unique experience to say the least.
You can say that, something like that. Yeah. Yeah.
And you also buy a
Yeah.
piano there too. It was always fun. You have all this like grand pianos for like tens of thousands of dollars, and then they'd have the area on the side of the room with the DJ stuff. And it was like
Yep.
you go from this elegant area with guys wearing suits and these people with very expensive houses buying very expensive pianos. And then you'd have kind of like, I can't say off to the side hidden, but it was kind of off to the side hidden a little bit, was the DJ area. And the guys in there were like, hey, what's up? Totally different vibe, totally different atmosphere. But that was, that's been a long time since I stepped foot. I don't even think Biasco Music is even in business anymore in the city. But I was talking before we started the show about vinyl. And I posed to Brentley, and this is one of the things I've seen a lot of resurgence in vinyl. If you haven't been into a store or if you haven't seen online, tons and tons and tons of albums on vinyl. So this is going to be a two-part question. And again, I'm going to ask this because we have DJs who've done retro stuff. Jeff's done cassettes. When he started with cassettes. So not even vinyl, he did cassettes. So the question is, and I think I kind of want to, I kind of want to, and I had the employees to do it to make it easier, but charge an additional fee and have a vinyl only set at a event. Two turntables, a basic mixer, microphone. That's it. No computer. A couple of milk crates full of records. That's it. And I've seen dudes spinning 45s. I've seen dudes spinning 12-inch records, the full ones, full albums, and doing stuff at gigs. And sometimes there are retro parties and people just come there. But that would be a cool vibe. The second part of this, which, again, Brentley and I were talking beforehand, and he was talking about taking some time. He's trying to listen to music and stuff. But here's the question I have. In that vinyl records that you have, and Brentley actually has a cool one, which I'm going to ask him to grab in a second or two when I talk to him. Is there a record there that is your pleasure, that you would love to listen to? So you could sit back, relax, and kind of chill for a while and let the whole album play on your record player at home? What music do you like listening to? Do you listen to something in the car on the way coming back from a gig? Do you listen to something going to a gig? Is it you chill out on like on a Friday or Saturday night before a gig, or if you don't have a gig on a certain night? What is your, I can't say guilty pleasure, but what are some of the songs, what's the tracks that and you sit back and listen to what you close your eyes to and rock back and forth and like, yeah, it takes me back, or hey, I love this, or I love enjoying it. So I'm going to start with Brentley. I know I'm not
Well, it's
asking you
definitely.
to commit right now, but I'm asking, what do you think about that with the vinyl for a gig? And then what's the album you showed a few minutes ago? And what are the stuff that you listen to, your guilty pleasures or your music you listen to and groove to?
For a vinyl only gig, if it was, I would do something like that if it was like on a bill with a bunch of other DJs. So we only had to come up with 1 hour of music, basically. So if say, five of us from this panel were at a DJ conference and we each got an hour, I'd be down with that. Any more than that, yeah, I'm out. That's just too much effort. When it comes to guilty pleasures, being a DJ has definitely corrupted me in every way. I can't listen to. There might be 2 albums, maybe 3 I could listen to all the way through. But I honestly find myself bouncing from song to song on my shuffle. Like I will throw what I call car blank on shuffle when I'm in the car coming home from gigs or if I'm on a long road trip. And it's definitely got a lot of bluegrass, a lot of folk, a lot of Americana, a whole lot of 80s of all things. And not to mention anything bubblegum pop from like the 50s and 60s and that crooner era of singers is all on there. I mean, my car list has 6,000 songs on it. And my friends, if they get in the car with me, they're like, put the radio on. We can't do it tonight. Because you just don't know what's going to be the next song. There's no rhyme or reason to my car list. But definitely a lot of bluegrass and folk, just because it's one of my favorite genres. And I actually pulled off most of the punk and put it in a different. So if I have to be in the mood. But like you were saying, albums to listen all the way through to. All 3 in my head are punk or borderline punk. Naked Raygun, Understand, Caroline Records. The Descendants, I Don't Want to Grow Up from SST Records. And then Afghan Wigs, Gentlemen. They were one of the bands that got signed and in the 90s Nirvana craze. And when Sub Pop, like everybody was signing bands from Sub Pop, Soundgarden, who else? Mudhoney, Sunny Day Real Estate. And these are the Afghan Wigs seem to be if you weren't Nirvana, because Nirvana had that we're punk rock, we don't give a rat's whatever. The Afghan Wigs were definitely, as the album put it, gentlemen. They were the grown-ups, so to speak, on the Sub Pop label. And the album Gentlemen, you can play, it's an entire, like, when bands still made an album that you could play from start to finish, and there was a meaning, each song flowed from song to song, and it took you somewhere. That was one of the very last albums I can truly remember bringing that journey out. Like everybody in the 70s had, going into the 80s, Pink Floyd, The Wall. Okay, woohoo, drop a couple tabs and let's have some fun. But all the rock bands in that era, their albums had to make sense, not just for the continuity of the album, but A&R reps weren't going to let you put out something that didn't make sense to them. So in this era, however, and because I'm definitely a DJ that does more of the young gigs, my attention span has definitely shortened up. So, like, if I'm listening to something like Townes Van Zandt, who's one of my favorite songwriters, I might be able to do 2 or 3 songs before I'm like, Siri, skip. And so that's where I am all at. But what Buddy wanted me to show everybody. This is a second run of the Nirvana Nevermind album. It's got the 242 Geffen number on it, and it only has the Geffen and Sub Pop logo on it, which, if I'm not mistaken, in post runs after they got reissued, everything has the third record label on them. So because I know, for example, what records came out on Geffen, for example, 24297 was Sonic Youth Goo, and that came out on Geffen in the same era as Nirvana. But I can even quote other 26315. Neil Young and Ragged Glories, the album with Country Home on it. I can't remember the name of the album now, but my mind still remembers some of these catalog numbers. So when I saw this and saw it had the original catalog number and number on the spine, I'm like, this is a second run, maybe a third run at most. I better grab this. And I paid $29.99 for it. The store I went to did not know what they had, and I wasn't about to say a word. But I'm not unsealing it. It will stay sealed until I kick the bucket and I give it to my daughter, and she decides to open it or sell it. I don't know.
So
But
hold
like
that
we were
puppy up.
saying,
Hold that up to the camera. There you go. So there it is, a sealed
Yep.
album or Nirvana. So Teen Spirit and some of the other songs in there. That's the album that really started Nirvana.
and
That
see,
became 'em big.
I liked Nirvana. I got to see them before they got big at a club in Chicago, which you'll remember, buddy, Avalon, which used to be Tuts. No one knew them, and my friends all worked there, so it was like we get up at the record store. What are we doing tonight? Oh, we can go to the Vic doesn't have a show. Oh, Avalon, let's go drink it. I got to see like Stabbing Westward there. The Cupcakes, those are all out of Chicago back in that era. But yeah, Nirvana played there, and then they played Metro or something like that after they got, and then they got enormous. But I got to see them when they were still playing the song from the Sliver EP and the Bleach album. That album there was a good rock album, but by no means, I do not understand how it became the anthem or the breakout of an entire generation. Because there were so many better albums and that came out even in that year. So it baffles me. But then again, everybody loved Pearl Jam, and that's the journey of the 90s. So go figure.
Yeah, again, you can't decide who's
Here,
going to be popular,
watch.
who's not.
Yeah.
Cool thing. Watch. Wait 10 more years, and instead of playing Don't Stop Believing, play Alive from Pearl Jam off the 10 record.
Of course, because that was my
And-
dad's favorite album. He
Okay,
and my mom, when they got married, they listened to that cassette over and over and over again, all the way to Disney World.
See, you've just emphasized my point. The demographic, because your
Yeah.
parents are what, 40-ish?
50 in their 50s. 52,
Okay.
53.
So the demographic that listens to that stuff, you're in your 30s.
yeah, 32.
It's
Almost.
right here now.
Yeah.
We've got 10 years before that becomes what we consider journey and wedding music
Yeah.
or background dinner music.
Yeah.
Yeah, I never got into Pearl Jam. It's never like, Better Man's probably the only really song that I can like, okay, but it's not wedding
Oh,
appropriate.
Jeremy's a good song. Jeremy is a good
Here.
song. And Alive and
The best song I think Pearl Jam ever came up with wasn't even on one of their, I don't think it was on one of their first albums because it was for the singles soundtrack. It's a song called State of Love and Trust. There is no song they wrote on any one of their albums that compares to the pure energy and angst they put out in that 3.5-minute song there.
There you go.
Hands down, the best Pearl Jam song done.
There you go. And again, this is what Brentley kind of like jams to and listens to and has a little fun with and relaxes with, And now we know
That's
kind
the
of
only
what
Pearl
a
Jam song on my
Hunter
car
does.
list.
And we know
And for Nirvana, yes, I do have, because my daughter likes Nirvana, I've put their entire catalog of hits on my car list just because she's in the car with me.
There
And
you
I can
go.
tolerate some of it. And like when she heard the song what is it, Sliver, where Kurt's singing Mom Take Me Home or whatever it is, she's like, this is really Nirvana. I'm like, yeah. So L7. Now there was a band. Sorry.
No, there's
you
nothing
haven't-
wrong
if-
with it.
One of the only all girl bands in that era, and they played like when I saw them at the Vic in Chicago, they walked out on stage like they thought they were Slayer or something. It was insane.
And that's the fun part of those memories. And I'm sure again, Hunter was talking a little bit about Pearl Jam a little bit. But okay, you had an album out for a second or two. What is that album and what are the songs you listen to?
Well, I don't really have a specific album I like to listen to, but I do like the Bee Gees' Greatest. I was trying to find the cassette, but when I listen to that cassette, it just takes me back instantly to my toddler years of when I was young and listen to that in my mom's 1999 Dodge Caravan and just listen to that disco music. And I even like Disney music as well. I like all kinds of music, so it's hard to pick out a specific album. But the album I had a second or two ago was actually one I got from Universal Studios at the Epic Universe Dark Universe store. And yeah, it was Dark Universe. It had all of the songs that they play around in the Dark Universe land at the Epic Universe.
So is that something you listen to and you like jam to, and you like?
No, no, I just bought it, so I haven't had time to listen to it. I'm gonna wait till Halloween
Well,
when the
then
time is right.
what do you listen to? What is the stuff that you kind of vibe to and just relax
Well,
to and chill to?
I mostly listen to a lot of 80s music. I'm a huge fan of 80s music from Michael Jackson to Journey to, all of the artists from the 80s, from pop, rock, hip hop, all kinds of artists from the 80s because I listen to a lot of Sirius XM 80s on 8. And on Fridays, I listen to the VJ Big 40 countdown where they count down the top 40 hits of a specific year. So I've
Yeah,
been
and
listening to a lot of 80s
that's
music.
like that right there is always nice retro music.
Mhm,
And also the '90s channel and early 2000s. It's
mhm.
always great, But do you have like a list of songs? Like if someone say, "Hey, give me your top 5 songs," do you have a list of songs you have that you're like, "Hey, yeah, boom, 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 boom."
Probably not because I'm a huge, I mean, I like a whole bunch of music. It's hard to pick one, pick
Oh,
one or
there you go.
five or different songs.
So Brentley went off camera, but the he was talking about Nirvana, and Weird Al did a parody of Nirvana, "Smells Like
Uh,
Nirvana," which is like it smells like Teen Spirit, and I always liked that video. And I always like wonder because I was never a Nirvana fan. I know there's a lot of their songs and stuff like that, and I appreciate Kurt Cobain his singing and stuff like that. Songs I wrote, of course you got Dave Grohl in there, hell of a drummer, hell of a musician, hell of a guy,
Good
Tracy loves
person.
the Foo Fighters, so Tracy always liked Nirvana. I just never got into it. I just never, just not my jam. But I appreciate the music. But smells like Nirvana. I always liked that from Weird Al Yankovic to kind of counteract regular smells like Teen Spirit. Got some fun, got some humor. I like to have some humor with my music, and I'm gonna go over to Dwayne. Dwayne,
Oh,
I know we were talking earlier. You've been in music for a long time. You play like 40 different instruments, and you do stuff for the church and stuff. You're a drummer, guitarist, keyboardist, piano. I think plays the harpsichord. No harpsichord. Okay. Uh, but he does play a lot of instruments. He was a music teacher for many years. But the question is two things for you, because I know Hunter wouldn't get into vinyl,
I would.
but
I actually would if I had to. I mean, if I actually would, I would get two Newmark PTO1 scratches, hook them up to my Yamaha MG10. I'm good. I actually would.
you would
I actually
get
would.
2 turntables.
Yeah, I got tons of
Okay.
vinyl I've been collecting over the last 26 years.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
Dwayne, would you want to get a couple of Technique 1200s, a nice basic mixer between the two, and go to a gig with just like a couple records, a couple of milk crates of records and DJ, and then the other part, what is your music? What do you like to listen to and chill and relax? And if you're going somewhere, what's the music that makes Dwayne happy?
And no, I would not do DJing with vinyl because I'm at the point I'm trying to go light. I'm not trying to carry a bunch of extra stuff. So I wouldn't do that. And as far as my vinyl, when I was collecting vinyl, I'm a big Prince fan. So
Oh, me too. Me too. I
so
love
I
Prince.
like get like the um
Yeah.
albums with like album art kind of stuff on
Yeah.
there. And my favorites, I couldn't find it, but it was it was a Batman one like this. It's like shaped
Oh,
just like a assemble. But
Awesome.
then I also have a bunch of like club performances and bootleg concerts that he did, especially over in Europe. So I like to pop those in sometimes. And then as far as stuff that I listen to, I don't have anything in particular that I listen to. I just find myself just vibing to my own little music that I create.
On Suno and stuff.
Huh?
On Suno and stuff.
No, my stuff that I update because I before pre-Suno. So if I
Real
put in
music that you
Suno,
really did, that you really
yeah,
created and wrote, and
yeah.
you
If
have
I
you have
did
sheets for and
Suno,
stuff.
if I did Suno, it's more so to fill it and bring it everything up and get that mastering sound.
Yeah, it's very interesting. I just saw a video of a guy talking about Suno that he did some songs back in the 90s, late 90s, some R&B and stuff like that. And he was wondering, he took it and uploaded it to Suno and how it changed it and updated it and how it made it into this. The song was really cool. He did. I was like, okay, yeah, this is a good song, you know. And then he uploaded to Suno, and it just took that song and just like brought it way up. AI,
Mhm.
again, this is one of the things. AI can be a good partner if you know what you're doing and if you work hard at it. Don't be afraid of AI. But the thing is that it is one of the things that you should always look at. Is there an album? If I said, Dwayne, I could put an album on my record player and play it, would it be Purple Rain? Would that be your one you'd sit back, relax, listen to the whole album on on vinyl?
Purple Rain, 1999, Sign of the Times, and there's a concert one where he introduces Housequake, and he has Sheila E. on the stage. I think you can almost. I think it was like a. It was he was at the Minneapolis club. Was that Seventh Avenue? So he tried that out, and I think it ended up being the um the video, the birthday video that he did in Detroit with Housequake, and then he did Oak Tree and all that kind of stuff.
Mm.
So
So
that's
the
the one
que-
I listen to.
we my one of my friends, and again I know him, and Dwayne's been has known Brian a little bit, but Brian S. Red BSR, he is a huge Prince fan, and if you ever want to talk to him about stuff, just start talking about Prince. He has a lot of great stories, a lot of great information. He got to see Prince live, especially I want to say it was here in Chicago or maybe up in Milwaukee at a like a club. Him just Prince just doing a live acoustic music, and the story he has about that, it's really cool. So if you really want to talk to one of the things you talk about Brian, he's a big Prince fanatic. Great guy. Has a lot of depth of knowledge in music overall. I mean, just listening to him talk about songs and music, it's amazing the stuff he knows, and it's crazy the depth of knowledge. But if you really want, if you're a Prince fan, you like Prince, even just dabble a little bit in Prince. If you talk to Brian about Prince, he can give you a lot of information you probably didn't even know because he is a Prince connoisseur to say the least. And again, he's a great guy. Would love talking to him, love dealing with him, and love watching his videos. I'm gonna go to Jeff now. Again, like for Jeff did cassettes in college,
Only
and
because I was cheap, buddy.
well, but still, that's still cool.
Yeah,
Would
well,
you?
I had two cassette decks. Well, I had one, and I bought a second. I had some vinyl, and what I would do is to listen to it in my car, I would transfer just the hits that I wanted to hear to cassette, and I had a decent stack of cassettes, which were very portable. So yeah, I DJ'd at dorm parties with cassette, but
So
that was
would
my.
you, if you had a chance to do that, bring two cassette players and a mixer, and you could DJ a event with just cassettes going back and forth. And again, this is something you charge a premium for. This is not something every single gig you do. But even you did it for like an hour or two for a dance floor, would you take that advantage of that and say, hey, you know what? I can still do this. I can rock the dance floor with cassettes, go back and forth with cassettes and have that, have that feel to it and kind of, take it back to college, but also just enjoy that time. It's less headache because, hey, I got 15 cassettes. That's the songs I have. Each one is 30 minutes each side. That's it. I got a few songs. Just we'll run
Yeah,
through those songs and that's
eight
it.
or 10 songs on each side. So, no, I would not, buddy. I would not do that. It was hard to fast forward a cassette and try to guess where the song is going to end. And, you play it, listen to it in headphones, and then fast forward a little bit more and maybe a little bit more, up too far, rewind it. So, just get it close and then pop it out and rewind it back, a quarter turn and put it back in. Then you're ready to go. It was not
That's why
easy.
pencils are awesome. Pencils, again, you take the
Pencils
pencil,
work too.
you
Yeah.
weel it back a little bit because your cassette.
Yeah.
Something that
No, I don't think I would go back to those days even. And I darn sure would not charge a premium for it. So,
I
but
don't
no,
know.
my
I think it'd be a
vinyl,
cool thing.
yeah.
But what's your music you listen to? What's the stuff that when Jeff is relaxing, in front of the fireplace, chilling on the golf cart, or just cruising around in the Jeff Mobile?
Yeah.
What is the stuff you listen to?
Well, I go back to my, everybody remembers when they started to drive and they started to listen to music in their car. Okay. So for me, it was way back in the dark ages, and I had 8 tracks. And some of my favorite 8 tracks that I listened to religiously were Eagles, Hotel California,
My dad's singing song.
Boston's first album, Jackson Browne, Running on Empty, Peter Frampton, Comes Alive, ELO, Out of the Blue, Queen, A Night at the Opera, and it's just just that general era of just classic rock, And when I got into college, I got more open to some more alternative music, and that's a lot of the stuff I still listen to today. As a matter of fact, we're getting ready to take a trip to England. We're going to go to Manchester, and I want to visit a couple of places where the Smiths had some really cool pictures that they took. So one of my favorite albums is the Smiths, Strange Ways, Here We Come. I really liked a lot of The Cure and New Order. So if I really want to just sit in front of a fireplace, though, and relax, it's going to be Steely Dan Asia. So, yeah, that's my era.
So the question is, how soon is now?
Exactly.
There you go. There's a Smith reference right now.
Yeah, when
Well,
you talk,
the funny thing is Morrissey is still touring solo because he has never made up with Johnny Marr. So he's still singing. He's still got a voice. He's still quirky as ever, but he's still singing.
Funny story about the Eagles Hotel California. When my parents started dating, that was my dad's singing song about him telling my mom that he loves her. Was Hotel California. He put on his cassette deck.
Song about breakup. It's a song about breakup, dude.
But I don't know why
Tell your dad to go read the lyrics.
All right. Quick question for the married guys here. I got 4 married guys, including myself. I'm gonna start with Dwayne. This is really quick lightning round to go around. Dwayne, what was your first dance song with your wife?
I don't remember. I just know she liked it. Beyonce's. It wasn't Single Ladies. It was
Not Single Ladies.
Was that Crazy in Love?
Crazy in Love was your first dance song?
I don't remember the slow dance song really.
Drunken Love?
Or something. I just know it went dun 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 dun.
That's Crazy in Love.
Yeah, but that's the only song that stood out of all that happened that night. I don't remember anything else.
Jeff, what about you? What's your first dance song with your wife?
Come Away With Me by Norah Jones.
Ooh, nice.
Ooh.
Nice. All right. I'm going to go over to Joe, which I know he's married. What is your first dance song with your wife?
First dance at a wedding
Yeah,
or first dance
when you got married to your
singer?
wife, what was your first dance song?
Oh, Always and Forever by Heat Wave.
There you go. Another nice one. Classics. So, Joe, again, I know you done vinyl, as well as I've done vinyl and Brentley's done vinyl. And again, Jeff with cassettes, and we got some very talented people here. Um, would you, for a premium, get two turntables and a mixer and offer it for services for people? Then that's the first part. The second part of the question is, what do you listen to? What is Joe cruising around listening to in California? And I hope you have a beautiful convertible because California, you gotta have a convertible in California.
Okay, to answer that question, I do have actually, I do still have all my vinyl. I have probably about 7 turntables. I like turntables, the mixers, and so on and so forth. I could actually go out and do it. So it's funny thing you should mention is the club that I play at, they do have a vinyl session on Sundays, and they've asked me, hey, would you like to do a set? And to be honest with you, to have to pull out that vinyl to go to each one, it's more of a pain in the neck. Could I
But
do
it's
it? Yeah, I
fun
could do
though.
it.
If you had a milk crate of songs, those are the only songs. Again, you did it over an hour or two. That was the only songs you had. People come up and request, nope, don't have the album. Sorry.
Again, it doesn't been there and done it, for so many years. If I wanted to, I could. Do I want to? No. I would probably say no.
Okay, so a no for you. What is your jams? What are the stuff that you listen to?
Oh, that's a great question because I'm an old dog. So most of the groups that I've heard, dating back to the 70s and 60s, the ones that I like to listen to the entire album would be probably Chicago, Led Zeppelin, Black Sabbath,
Chicago or Chicago Transit Authority
Chicago
or
Transit Authority,
Chicago Transit Authority. So
and the
again that
2464, Sitting in the Park.
that's
That's
CTA. Yeah.
that's cool stuff. Led Zeppelin, Black Sabbath, Pink Floyd, The Doors, Beatles. And then if I wanted to hear some funky stuff, dance stuff, then I would go to Earth, Wind, and Fire. They did an amazing job of their album in the 70s. And then as far as alternative, I think one of my favorite recordings of the group would be Depeche Mode because they do a very good job of recording, the music. And then dance stuff, just to listen in the car, just fun, just drive. I'll take it back to Saturday Night Fever and listen to the entire album. It's just fun stuff.
It's one of the things I'd love to just drop a needle on something, and that's one of the things I'm hoping once we move and I get a bigger office. This room's kind of small, and instead of having a treadmill behind me, I'll have a table with my CDJs and having kind of like Brentley has, and having two 1200s and having I have some records. I think I have the Saturday Night Fever album that was my mother-in-law's, so is original from the 70s. Um, I got some records I found on the Disc Dogs. Some stuff I found Chicago House and stuff like that. I'd love to hear it on an album, But it's one of the things that I mean on a record player. It just one of the things that it's just I feel that we should all take a little time and chill, relax a little bit, and hopefully you guys are chilling, relaxing a little bit. And before I get to Chris here in a second or two, because I said the best for last because Chris has got some depth in music too. Because Dylan Kid, he's sitting over in the corner, but he may look like he's 20 years old, but he's 32. So
Appreciate the comp. No, I'm older than that.
he's 32. He's 32. That's it. That's as high as we go.
Right.
That's it. 32. Like
I
Brentley,
look like
he's
I'm
still
23, but I'm
25.
32.
So
I love it.
Well, one
Totally
last thing I'd like to
25.
say,
Totally.
One last thing I'd like to say, it's totally different because you look at the DJs from the different eras and what they're accustomed to hearing. So when you've heard certain songs on albums, you can appreciate it more because you've played it over and over and over and over. You know, uh, this next generation, even though vinyl's coming back, can they appreciate a song that was just released versus now? I don't know, you know.
And that's one of the things that I really feel that us as DJs kind of pushing that, saying, "Hey, you know what? You should listen more than 30 seconds of the song. You should listen a little bit more and enjoy the song a bit longer than 30 or 20 seconds."
More
Yeah,
than just the
sometimes it's
hook.
cool to go in and out of stuff, but
Yeah.
sometimes playing a song, let the song marinate and let it go for a little longer, let them enjoy it, and maybe they appreciate it, and maybe they do buy some vinyl and they buy a record player, even a cheap one from Best Buy, and listen to it. I hope so. I hope people enjoy that and get to listen to that. Before I go to Chris, my and Tracy's first dance song, it's from Peter Gabriel. It's from his Soul album. Can you guys guess what song that is?
In your eyes.
Another brick on the wall.
In Your Eyes. Jeff
In
got
your
it.
eyes. In your
In Your
eyes.
Eyes. Also in what movie? Raise your hand. Who's got the movie?
Say anything.
Hunter's right. So it's one of the songs that I will tell you a quick story about that, and then we're going to go to Chris. Tracy and I have two totally different likes of music. She likes rock, like she listens to Slipknot, she listens to the Foo Fighters, she listens to Shinedown, she listens to Electric Cowboy. I turned her on to that. she likes she likes harder rocks, but she also likes Secure. She also likes Depeche Mode. She listens to the Depeche Mode channel on Sirius XM. So again, she likes the alternative. She likes the harder rock. I like dance and pop music much more. And so we like totally different music. And we were going through songs and we were just, she's like, I don't want this song. I don't like this song. I'm like, I don't like that song. She's a person that does not like surprises. She's the girl when she was younger would go hunting for Christmas gifts to find out what she had to know before she got her Christmas gift. So when she turned and said, I don't care, just play whatever. The other part is that I'm kind of a jokester. So a lot of times I'll play something that could be inappropriate, could be something that's funny because I like having people laughing. But our first dance song, she heard it and she's like, she always says, I did a good thing with that song. And that's, to me, it's one of the things when we hear it and we're together in a vehicle, it's like, I just get into that groove. And I remember going back to that dance floor with my wife, which is always great. Chris, I'm going to go to you. Hopefully you're not teary-eyed or anything like that with some reminiscing, but I don't think you never did vinyl, right? You never worked on 12 inch or 45s or
Correct.
anything?
I started off in CDs growing up. Um, Started DJing in '98, so CDs were the prevalent thing right now. MP3 file format was just starting to come big into play with Napster, and Aimster, LimeWire, people downloading illegal music and stuff, and then the remix stuff started coming through harder. That's why everything back in those early 2000s, it's the remix, and it really changed a lot of stuff. But I mean, my background in music, where I started, growing up, dare I say, my father listened to a lot of 50s and 60s when I was growing up younger. My mother was more the classic rock. So I got a lot of variety right there. Personally, my personal choices, like I'll just grab a few albums here that I listened to, that I grabbed CDs for. Deep Purple, Dire Straits, Air Supply, Fleetwood Mac. Let's go with the longest song that this group probably ever done. Everyone's ever heard of Jethro Tull, Thick as a Brick. That 43-minute song, it's going to go on forever. What kid these days are going to actually listen to that? They're not. Journey, Michael Jackson, Queen, REM, U2, and ZZ Top. Those are just a few quick albums that, I most certainly picked up an artist that I really latched onto. They had some great, great classic songs you can use that are timeless. And that's kind of what I like, is a lot of timeless music. But I'll tell you, literally on the way home today, I just for some reason had an inkling just to listen to country line dance music out of the blue going home, and end up mixing it with a few disco songs in there and some remixes of that oldies that I picked up along the way. I said, sorry, switch this up, let's go with this. So I really do have a very eclectic taste in music. I won't even, if I want to chill and relax, I'll tell you what I did it for just in an office. I'll actually put on movie score track, or a soundtrack to a movie, and I'm like, oh, listen to that, and I do. Especially my favorite one is actually, you'd be surprised, is actually Jurassic Park. The score in that is actually quite incredible, quite relaxing to listen to in the background. And there's been a couple other ones that have been very, very good. And I'm like, I picked up the albums and just continue on listening to them, think of all the Star Wars stuff too,
So
listen to that in the background.
because you started on CD and CDJs, and kind of like Jeff, again, and you started on
I didn't have
CDs,
CDJs.
not on vinyl, and kind of like Jeff did with a cassette. I'm going to change the question for you, like I did for Jeff. Would you, if you had a chance, get your 19-inch CD player, your dual CD player, and a mixer, and had CDs, and the CD books, because I remember having those? Would you go do a gig with a couple CD books and a CD player, the DJ one, the two CD players? I probably would say one of the best ones, and I do have it in the garage, from Newmark. I always liked that one, the Newmark one. I do also have Denon, the HD 2500s with the dual CD player, and Denon 19-inch rack mount mixer. But would you do that? Would you go out to a gig, CD player, mixer, microphone,
CDs,
and do like an hour or two set with CDs again, like you did back, in the late 90s, early 2000s? And you charge a premium for it. It's not like, hey, I'm just going to do it to do it. A customer knows I'm charging a premium for it.
Tell you no, all right, because the dual decks, there's no guarantee that they're going to start. Okay, the CDJs with the CDs in them. What I used was a Denon. That's what I was used to. That was to my mixing style at the time. Would I go back to them? Could I, even for a premium? I had to say it. If it was brand new equipment of it that worked perfectly, yeah, I would bring my 4 Grundorf cases filled with CDs, and I probably would. But the only problem is database. How do I figure out what songs are? Because I was buying promo only, and I had platinum CDs. I would have to flip through CDs. Which song do I want next? And think I probably figured out where they are, keeping that in mind. But now searching for music on a computer is so much faster.
Well, on the outside of the promo only sleeve, it tells you the songs, what it is.
Yes, it does.
I have a bunch
right here.
Yeah,
I still collect CDs. This is from January right here. I'm waiting for my March.
And do you put those on your computer as a archive, like for your back catalog?
I rip these myself when I get them from promo only. I do the MP3 tags myself and the file management names myself. So I have every single one back from when I started in 98, and I started buying some old friends that retired their old CD collections, and I re-ripped them myself.
So there you go.
So I still have all those CDs from promo only, mostly from mainstream radio, rhythm radio, dance radio. I have the entire collection, and urban radio.
All right, I'm gonna ask some music here, because I got people talking in the chat, and I appreciate you guys talking in the chat. Big DJ, he said he started out with mini disc. Oh, I remember the professional mini disc players. I remember those. Mini disc came out with 92, 93 came out here in the US. It was in Japan before then, and it came out here.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember
who had mini discs? I did.
I did not.
Mini disc.
I'm sure I had some.
I had the decks.
I love the format. The other thing is DAT, digital audio tape.
I had a few tapes.
DAC tapes were also really fun too because it was
When I was in
digital
college,
audio
yeah.
recorded onto a cassette tape, and it was a special cassette tape. Kind of looked like a 8 millimeter video cassette. Kind of looks similar. So Big DJ Sirs, he said he started out with mini disc. There you go. Mikey Mike said Pink Floyd The Wall. So I want to see a show of hands. Who would listen to Pink Floyd The Wall or Dark Side of the Moon? Who would listen to the album? Bradley
one?
shake his head no. Jeff said
Which
yeah.
one?
Cool things says
Which
yeah.
one?
Bradley, why
one?
no?
Dark Side of the Moon?
Okay.
Yeah.
Most of my friends and like, you know what era we grew up in. If you weren't blazing up, taking a couple hits of Microdot or something back then, and listening to Dark Side of the Moon or The Wall, you weren't cool. That's all there was to it.
Are you talking about
You
LSD?
think it's funny, but back in
Hey,
the day, back in the late 80s, or
Are you
mid to
talking
late
about
80s,
LSD? LSD?
I have
Oh yeah.
I could not confirm or deny any of these topics.
He's talking
But-
about drugs. Some people would
yeah.
do that, would do whatever, and then listen to those albums.
We go on here. You'd sit, you pop a couple tabs, and you party all night long listening to those albums. And there were a couple other rock albums, or like if you remember WZRD, WZRD, that broadcast out of Northeastern University. They would do every Saturday night. It wouldn't start until like 2 a.m, but they would play albums in a row. So they put on like Suicidal Tendencies, the first record, front to back. And we're already tripping balls. It's like, whoa, all right, we got some good tunes going on. So yeah, I mean, that was the era to do that when, again, people made records with content. It wasn't just like even Taylor Swift's latest album has some flow to it. It makes sense song by song. But yeah, I couldn't handle listening to Dark Side of the Moon or The Wall ever again in their entirety. I would go out of my mind.
You sync it up with Wizard of Oz.
Yeah,
It works perfect.
We've done it. We've done it. And I got to say, that wasn't a great night. It wasn't a great experience. Not that I would recommend doing what we did in the 80s to do that with, but yeah.
All right, here's a quick thing for Wizard of Oz. And I've heard people swear they see it. And again, I don't know if it's because of stuff they're doing, stuff they're taking, hope, dreams, whatever. But supposedly in one of the scenes, someone does something bad in the background in the Wizard of Oz. And you see it for a second or so. And I've heard people say they know exactly where it's at. They say, I've yet to see evidence of it. I don't think that's ever happened. But Disney, not MGM, Disney on certain movies has dirty pictures in the cartoon. The guys who drew the pictures slipped in stuff that's like a millisecond. It's a frame.
Yeah.
And if you go onto YouTube, you can find people that will show those frames that have bad things on it. But again, you go on YouTube, you can go down a rabbit hole with that, with a whole entire thing.
The
with
Lion King has something like that from the original animation. There's something with the leaves when Simba or Mustafa,
yeah,
falls.
there's a bunch of stuff. You can go down a bunch of Disney movies.
The leaves that come up when he wrestled underneath the tree or something like that.
You can start getting into like adult cartoons like Betty Boop and stuff. That was not designed for kids. That was designed for the adults back in the 20s and 30s and 40s.
Tunes was not even designed for kids. Are you kidding me? It was really for adults.
Yeah, Betty Boop was not designed for kids. So you should not have little kids watching old Betty Boop stuff. Tom and Jerry has a lot of adult humor that goes over kids' heads, but that's fine.
Ren and Stimpy?
Ren and Stimpy, another one. It's adult oriented. It's not designed for kids. But so that was Mike's take. Pink Floyd, The Wall, or Dark Side of the Moon. I know I hear a couple guys say they like Depeche Mode. Who likes Depeche Mode? Raise your hand. Yep. All right, Depeche Mode.
Especially their song "Enjoy the Silence." I like that song. "Enjoy the Silence."
I do like Personal Jesus. Personal Jesus. I'd always like that one. Prince.
Oh
Yep.
yeah.
Absolutely.
Huge.
B-52s,
Yeah. Love Shack.
Rock Lobster.
No, Rock Lobster.
Oh
Rock
yeah.
Lobster.
Rock Lobster.
They're
Yeah.
they're kind of
Rome?
that's another group that if you know back in the 80s, some of their songs are they're very trippy.
They're
Let it
okay. I
clear.
mean, they're fun and all,
Let it
but
clear.
she had better success.
Oh.
You know, not better success, but after the B-52s kind of fell apart, she was hopping on everybody else's records singing, like Iggy Pop, the song "Candy." What is it from the Color by Numbers album or something like that? I think no, Brick by Brick. That's it.
Strobe light.
You know where I first heard Rock Lobster? At Universal Studios in the SpongeBob parade. They used Rock Lobster. I was like, okay.
It is again, some of their stuff is very, very interesting for music wise. Adrian E
Depeche
said
Mode, like you were mentioning.
his first slow song with his wife. So first his song with his wife was "You Are the Best Thing" from Ray. That right there is a good one. We still do that for first dance songs. That's always a good one. Big DJ Service said first dance song, "Yours" by Russell Dickerson. Another good one. Adrian E. It wasn't their first dance song, but they did. It was the first time they slow danced with her. And Adrian said he could do CDs again. Newmark Access 9s. Oh, yeah. I remember that. The one nice thing I liked about Newmark, Pioneer did. Pioneer didn't do it because they had plastic for their little turntables for the CDs. But Newmark's rubber was like a rubbery turntables. The Denon also on a HD 2500 did two turntables. You can call them turntables or a little disc. It's also plastic too. So it's not as nice. But Pioneer, I liked the feel of it. But Newmark had like a rubbery kind of feel to it. And American DJ or American Audio, whichever way you would look at, because it's the same company, but two different ways. They also had kind of a rubberized feel to their little controllers. So, and they had soft buttons. Newmark had soft buttons. Pioneer was kind of harder plastic. I think the Japanese is like
Gemini
something
had
that's
a couple
more
of, CD
robust.
players as well.
Yeah, they like stuff a little more robust. Newmark, I mean not Newmark. Denon was between the two. Wasn't really hard. Wasn't really soft. It was good again. Japanese design, very robust, and that was the nice thing with the old Denon stuff. Versus now it's Denon and Newmark and Rain. That's all in music now, and they're all. It's like looking at General Motors. You got Cadillac, you got Chevy, you got Buick. So it depends which way you go, and you get
Still
good,
GM.
better, best. And that's fine. It's always great when you have companies that do that and invest money into their equipment, and it gives you options, it gives you scenarios that you can then make an informed decision and get what works for you.
Well,
So,
I got
hey,
something
go ahead.
real quick. First dance song for a wedding that I did back in 2005. They wanted to hear "Sweet Child." What is it? "Sweet Child of Mine."
Mhm.
Was the
Yeah.
first
Guns
dance.
N' Roses. Yeah.
Guns N' Roses.
You know,
Yeah.
Sheryl Crow does that, and I did a wedding last year in Indiana. That was a daddy-daughter song, and about the part when the guitar starts coming in, and she's doing an acoustic guitar, I started bringing in the electric guitar, and then went into where Axl goes, oh, 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 sweet child of mine, and started playing the rest into regular Guns N' Roses. So it started off like, very sweet, and then it got into more of a rock, and that's what she wanted. She wanted that feel. And it's always amazing when you do stuff like that. But Sheryl Crow, she did like a nice, it's not a true acoustic, but is a nice slower version. So if someone wanted to do that, they're really into 80s rock and they love GNR. That's a great right there song for a first dance, or a daddy daughter song too.
Yeah. My parents' first dance was "In Excess, Never Tears Apart."
There you go.
I wanted to use "Let's Get It On," but my wife vetoed it.
That's why
Marvin
she's the
Gaye?
boss.
Marvin Gaye.
Yeah, Marvin
better
Gaye.
than what's the song? Let's Get Drunk and Screw. That'd be another one that would not be a good first dance song.
Why not My Neck, My Back?
Oh,
Pop them out.
I
I
had
think
another
the
one.
fir-
Wanted
yeah.
Adam
Hotel
Sandler at a
California.
medium
Yeah.
pace.
Let's say in the next 30 years, we hope, we pray we don't get to hear WAP as a first dance.
Oh god, yeah, acoustic version of WAP.
Oh, it's coming. It's coming.
God, no. God.
Either that
Grant
or
song.
or the NLE Choppa song, "Slut Me Out." One of those is going to be a
Oh,
first
yeah.
dance someday. Mark my words.
Oh yeah,
Mark my words. And it's going to be viral from the get-go.
Oh man. Well, hopefully you got some songs out there in your mind now. And again, maybe a little song you heard here tonight, a little information, maybe takes you back. And I want to hear from you. Would you like to go back and do some vinyl or some CDs or cassette tapes or some other media other than digital, other than streaming, other than MP3? Could you do it? Could you go back and say, hey, is that something you would want to do? Charge an extra fee for an hour or two, like the last 2 hours of the night, playing 45s, playing 12-inch, playing CDs? Is a
Let's
question.
have someone go back to reel. How's that?
Reel to reel. There now, there you
Jeff
go.
is
You start
like,
getting into that. That right there would be that would be fun. Especially how many tracks? How many tracks is reel to reel? It's a multi-track system.
We can get as many of the 8 tracks on.
Yeah.
And a
Or
reel to
4
reel. Yeah,
tracks.
it's a
Let's
multi-track.
not
reel
do
is
carts
just 2
then, all right?
tracks,
Let's not
so
go back to the old radio doing
stereo
that, bringing
on
the
side
carts
and
in and playing them.
Hey, you know what? If people want to pay the money for it, God bless. So, with all the fun stuff tonight and everything going on, let's see who's going to take us out tonight. I will ask Hunter. Hunter always likes to take us out. So, Hunter, do us a favor, take us home.
All right, thank you all so much for watching this episode of the DJ Roundtable. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and we'll see you guys next week. Peace out.
Good night, everyone.